interdimensional beings, in point of fact.
Welcome back, Ox.
Beneath the surface of our planet and hidden in our ocean's depths are strange and mysterious discoveries that are waiting to be uncovered. From underwater caves filled with skulls to the desert ship graveyard, these unexpected finds offer a glimpse into the history of our world that we could never have imagined. Join us as we explore 15 of the most bizarre discoveries found in unexpected places. Number 15, the Utah Monolith. In November 2020, a routine helicopter surveying the middle of Utah for sheep turned into something far more surprising when the crew stumbled upon an inexplicable, smooth metal monolith. The discovery was so out of the ordinary that it quickly made headlines across the globe. The questions on everyone's mind were, how did it get there? How long had it been there? And would it advance human evolution as we know it? Standing at an impressive 12 feet tall, it was quite evident that this metal monolith was not a natural occurrence and had likely been placed there by some humans. Many internet sleuths quickly took to social media to discuss the implications of such an odd discovery. But the real question was how the monolith ended up in such a remote location in Utah. The area was inhospitable and incredibly difficult to reach, adding to the mystery of how the monolith ended up in its remote location. The discovery stunned the Utah Division of the Bureau of Land Management. The area was so isolated that anyone who managed to reach it would require rescuing to return safely. Despite investigators' best efforts, the monolith's origin remained a mystery. But one thing was clear. The metal monolith was not natural. It was carefully crafted by human hands, likely referencing the iconic 2001, A Space Odyssey film by Stanley Kubrick. The internet buzzed with speculation about the significance of the monolith's placement and its possible connection to extraterrestrial life. However, just as quickly as it appeared, the monolith vanished in the same month, leaving everyone puzzled and disappointed. The Utah Bureau of Land Management confirmed that they did not remove the monolith and had no idea who did, only adding to the mystery and speculation surrounding its origin. Number 14, Desert Ship Graveyard. It's not every day that you stumble upon abandoned boats in the middle of the desert, but that's precisely what you'll find here. This ship graveyard, a relic of a once thriving fishing industry, is slowly being eaten away by rust, a haunting reminder of a way of life long gone. It's hard to believe that such a lonely place was once a bustling hub of activity. The people of Moynak thrived by fishing in the Aral Sea, which once blessed them with abundant seafood. However, as the years passed by, the sea began to change. The water slowly receded, and the ocean decreased in size and volume. Rather than risk losing their only means of making a living, many of the locals in Moynak relocated elsewhere, leaving behind the ships that once helped them earn their salary. The ship graveyard is a popular destination for tourists who come to marvel at the haunting beauty of this place. The ships have become a canvas for graffiti artists, and the colorful murals starkly contrast the desolate landscape. The ship graveyard offers photographers many opportunities to capture unique and striking images. But even with the influx of tourists, the ship graveyard remains a place of great melancholy. The empty hulls of the ships are a reminder of the people who once called this place home, who worked hard to provide for their families, and who had to make the difficult decision to leave everything behind when the sea began to recede. Number 13, the American Stonehenge. Stonehenge is a world-renowned historical site and tourist attraction in England, known for its mysterious and enigmatic nature. But what if we told you that another Stonehenge might be out there? A Stonehenge hidden beneath the murky waters of Lake Michigan, just waiting to be discovered. In 2007, a professor of underwater archaeology at Northwestern Michigan College, Mark Hawley, stumbled upon a series of strange stones 40 feet below the lake's surface. These stones were arranged in a circle, much like the famous Stonehenge in England. But what made this discovery even more extraordinary was that one of the stones had a carving of a mastodon engraved on it. Despite the significance of this discovery, very little is known about the underwater stone circles. No one knows who put them there, why they were arranged in a circle, or their purpose. But that hasn't stopped experts from speculating about the possibilities. Some believe the underwater Stonehenge may have been a place of worship, or a site for ritualistic ceremonies. Others suggest that it may have been used for astronomical observations, or as a calendar to mark the changing of the seasons. Regardless of its original purpose, the underwater Stonehenge reminds us of the many mysteries that still exist in our world, waiting to be uncovered. And it's not just Lake Michigan that holds secrets like these. There are countless bodies of water all around the world that may be hiding their own versions of Stonehenge. Number 12. The wind over archaeological site. In 2016, a group of divers stumbled upon a chilling find in a peat bog. Human bones were scattered throughout the area, and the divers immediately reported their discovery to archaeologists. What they found would change the way we think about the history of the Americas forever. The bones were determined to be at least 7,000 years old, making them some of the oldest human remains ever found in the region. Further research revealed that the peat bog was actually used as a burial site all those years ago and was above ground at the time. But shifting tides and sea levels submerged the site under the Gulf's waters over time. As it turned out, the water in the peat bog acted as a preservative, and the human remains were remarkably well preserved. This included bones and even brain tissue, allowing researchers to learn more about the people who lived and died there thousands of years ago. However, the narrative didn't come to a close yet. Archaeologists persisted with their excavation, and in the process, they unearthed numerous artifacts such as textiles and arrowheads. In addition, they discovered 37 distinct grave sites that provided a window into the past, exposing additional details about the individuals who used to inhabit this region. Today, this archaeological site is a protected area that is available only to researchers who are further uncovering the history of this remarkable society. It was a window into ancient times when life vastly differed from what we know today. And with each new discovery, we are reminded of our ancestors' incredible ingenuity, resilience, and creativity. Number 11. The Temple of Andara. While there are many ancient and beautiful temples in Syria, the Temple of Andara stands out for its huge human footprints that appear at its entrance, leaving scientists, archaeologists, and locals puzzled about their origin and meaning. The Temple of Andara is an ancient structure that has been around for at least 3,300 years. The temple has a fascinating story, but the footprints are what have captured the world's imagination. The footprints are large, almost twice the size of a regular human foot, and have been carved into the stone at the temple's entrance. According to scientists and archaeologists, the people who built the temple carved the footprints. They are believed to represent the procession of the gods into the temple's inner chambers, which is a common motif in many ancient temples. However, local legends have a different story to tell. Many local legends suggest that the Temple of Andara was visited by a great god with clawed feet, who left the imprints himself. Some even suggest that the footprints were left by giants who once roamed the land. These legends have been passed down from generation to generation, and they continue to capture the imagination of those who visit the temple. Sadly, the Temple of Andara was severely damaged in 2018 when a Turkish air raid hit it. However, the footprints survived, and they continue to intrigue visitors from all over the world. Despite the damage, the temple remains a popular destination for those who want to experience the wonder and mystery of ancient structures. Number 10. Going down with the boat. Funerary boats were a common burial practice among royalty in ancient Egypt, but this boat was no ordinary vessel. Measuring a staggering 62 feet in length, the boat was exceptionally well preserved, with the 1,000-year-old wood still intact. Carbon dating and research determined that the boat was more than 4,500 years old, making it a truly remarkable find. But what left archaeologists scratching their heads was that the boat was found nowhere near a royal burial ground. Instead, it was buried in a tomb with what appeared to be a commoner. This begged the question, what kind of commoner could afford a boat like this, and how did they transport it inland when there was no water around? The mystery only deepens when we consider the context of the boat's discovery. At 4,500 years old, this boat dates back to when ancient Egyptian civilization was just beginning to emerge. It was a time when the Nile River, the lifeblood of Egypt, was still in its infancy, and the use of boats was still a relatively new concept. So what was this boat doing all the way out here, buried with a commoner? Was it a gift from a pharaoh to a loyal subject? Or was it simply a symbol of the person's wealth and status? And how did they transport it inland? As we marvel at the intricate details of this remarkable vessel and ponder the questions it raises, we're reminded that the past is a complex and multifaceted thing, full of surprises and unexpected twists and turns. Number 9. Human helmets. Throughout history, humans have done things that we modern-day folk consider strange. From bizarre rituals to fashion trends we'll never understand, our ancestors certainly had a unique way of living. But there's one discovery that will really leave you scratching your head. During a 2-year excavation between 2014 and 2016 in Ecuador, archaeologists came across a 2,000-year-old funeral mound. Nothing out of the ordinary here, that is, until they saw what was inside. There were the bone remains of 2 infants wearing what looked like strange helmets. And upon further investigation, they found that these helmets were indeed the skulls of other younger children. These children were part of the Guangala culture, which dates back to about 100 BC. And this find is the only one of its kind, which could imply that these ancient people used juvenile crania as some sort of ritual mortuary headgear. So this raises the question of whose skulls the headgear is made from. Was it taken from another body, or did they have to make helmets from living subjects? It's another classic case that we'll never know, but these buried infants were both less than 2 years old and were literally wearing the skulls of much older children, allowing the headgear to fit over their faces. But to make matters worse, young human skulls don't hold together very well when they're bare, meaning the helmet still had flesh on them when these babies were buried. This find is undoubtedly one of the most bizarre discoveries archaeologists have ever made. The use of juvenile crania as ritual mortuary headgear may seem barbaric to us today, but it's important to remember that our modern cultural beliefs and practices may also seem strange to future generations. Number 8. 2 trees in one. At first glance, it may seem like a regular mulberry tree, but if you look closely, you'll see a cherry tree growing on top of it. That's right, 2 different species of tree living in perfect harmony. It's a sort of hybrid duplex that very rarely occurs in nature. While smaller trees occasionally grow on top of larger ones, it's unusual to see 2 fully grown trees like this. Usually, one of the tree's good health will come at the expense of the other, and the tree on top usually suffers. But not in this case. As the beautiful white flowers on the cherry tree demonstrate, both trees are thriving. The strange tree has become a tourist attraction for the area, with visitors coming from far and wide to witness this rare occurrence. However, it had to be fenced off for its own protection. We wouldn't want people getting too close and damaging this natural wonder. Climbing is illegal, so you must admire it from a distance. But how did this bizarre phenomenon come to be? The answer lies in the mulberry tree's ability to propagate by sending up shoots from its roots. These shoots are known as suckers. They can grow into a whole new tree in rare cases. But what's even more remarkable is that the cherry tree is an entirely different species from the mulberry tree. Despite this, the 2 trees have managed to coexist and thrive as one, without either one suffering at the other's expense. This rare and beautiful tree is a testament to the wonder and mystery of the natural world. It's a reminder that we still have so much to learn and discover, even in the most unexpected places. Number 7. The Inventonite Island. Inventonite Island, situated on the vast expanse of Lake Turkana, is a strange-looking island that translates to no return. And with such a foreboding name, it's no surprise that the island is shrouded in mystery and fear. According to local legends, nobody who enters the island ever returns, which has only served to reinforce its eerie reputation. Some conspiracy theorists even claim that the island is home to an alien base full of extraterrestrial beings who will abduct anybody who gets too close. But what is the truth? In 1935, English explorer Vivian Fush decided to put the legends to the test and embarked on a research mission to the island with colleagues Bill Dayson and Martin Sheffield. However, they failed to return, leaving behind only more questions than answers. Despite this, photographs taken by planes that have flown over the island's enormous crater show what appear to be the remains of ancient huts at its center, fueling speculation that the island has a rich history that is yet to be uncovered. But the Kenyan belief is that those who descend into the crater will be struck by lightning and obliterated, adding to the island's air of mystery and fear. And with such a reputation, it's no surprise that nobody has been brave enough to venture to the island for a long time. In fact, the island's legend is so deeply ingrained in Kenyan culture that it tells us a lot about how Kenyans feel about it. For them, the island is a place of fear, danger, and the unknown. It's a place that challenges their understanding of the world, and perhaps that's why it remains so fascinating to this day. Number 6. The Sun Temple of Abu Garab. Egypt is a land of ancient wonders, with its stunning pyramids and vast deserts holding secrets that have fascinated people for centuries. While most visitors flock to the Great Pyramid of Giza, just 20 minutes away lies a lesser-known but no less fascinating site, the Sun Temple of Abu Garab. Built around 2,400 years ago, the Sun Temple of Abu Garab was dedicated to the great god Ra and used to have its own stepped pyramid. According to historical records, there were once 6 sun temples at Abu Garab, but today only 2 remain, their ruins scattered across the area. One of the most puzzling aspects of the Sun Temple is the massive red granite blocks that are scattered across the site. These blocks are precision engineered with polished surfaces and holes so smooth that they must have been made using advanced drilling technology. But how did the ancient Egyptians manage to achieve such a feat of engineering? And what was the purpose of these mysterious blocks? As if the granite blocks weren't mysterious enough, several square alabaster dishes contain markings similar to the gears of an engine. Could it be possible that the people who lived here had access to advanced technology? And if so, what happened to it and them? Archaeologists have been studying the Sun Temple of Abu Garab for decades, trying to unlock its secrets and shed light on the mysterious civilization that once thrived here. But the more they uncover, the more questions they seem to raise. Were these stunning feats of engineering simply the result of masterful craftsmanship, or do they hint at something far more extraordinary? Or could these ancient people possess knowledge and technology far beyond what we previously thought possible? Perhaps we'll never find out. Number 5. An unusual place to park. Did you ever dig around in the backyard hoping to discover some sort of lost treasure? I bet you dug up some things like rocks and maybe a few old coins, but did you ever uncover an entire Ferrari? It may sound insane, but in 1978, a group of boys in Los Angeles did just that.
It was a big drought in LA for almost 4 years. It started raining and the kids were playing in the backyard.
Concealed by a shallow layer of earth, the metallic green roof of a Ferrari Dyno 246 GTS was hidden beneath the dirt. This was a sought-after car in the 1970 S, and even today it sells for about $60,000 to $90,000. But it hadn't been left underground to rot. Rugs were lying on top of its roof, and towels were stuffed inside the vents in an effort to preserve the precious vehicle. So someone had clearly been planning to unearth it at some point, but incredibly or suspiciously, none of the neighbors claimed to know how it got there. Once the car was completely dug up, the police ran some checks and discovered the Ferrari had actually been stolen 4 years before. Unfortunately, from there, the trail ran cold. But then, several years later, it transpired that the original owner of the car had hired thieves to steal it so he could claim the insurance money. The thieves were supposed to destroy the car to complete the scam, but they greedily decided to hide it and sell it later.
They put towels inside to absorb certain areas.
Except these geniuses forgot where they had buried it. If you ask me, they deserve to be locked up for being that criminally dumb. Number 4. Gobekli Tepe. For years, historians and archaeologists believed that early humans first settled in permanent towns, built farms, and then constructed temples. But in 1994, a team of archaeologists in rural Turkey stumbled upon a discovery that challenged this long-held belief. What they found was remarkable: rings of enormous stone pillars with intricate scenes of animals carved into them. And after some serious carbon dating, they found that this place, Gobekli Tepe, dated back to the 10th millennium BC, making it the oldest place of worship in the world. But what's even more mind-boggling is that the people of Gobekli Tepe were semi-nomadic hunters who didn't quite understand the concept of agriculture. So how did they manage to construct such an elaborate and sophisticated site without the tools and knowledge we take for granted today? This raises some profound questions about the origins of human civilization. Who were these people, and who or what were they worshipping? How did they worship, And what other mysteries might be buried beneath the sands of time? The beauty of Gobekli Tepe is that we may never fully know the answers to these questions. Were they simply a group of curious and creative individuals experimenting with their environment and exploring the limits of their own imaginations? Or were they guided by some higher power, driven by a sense of purpose and meaning that transcended the physical realm? Gobekli Tepe is a testament to the enduring mystery that reminds us that no matter how far we progress technologically and scientifically, there will always be new frontiers to explore and discover. Number 3. Underwater Cave of Skull. Located in the Sakuyum cenote on Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula, this stunning natural wonder has captivated locals and tourists for decades. Still, it wasn't until 2012 that a team of divers made a shocking discovery that would send shivers down their spines. As they explored the depths of the cenote, they stumbled upon 2 chambers filled to the brim with human bones and deformed skulls. At first, they were terrified, unsure of what they had just uncovered. But after conducting extensive research, historians and archaeologists were able to piece together the truth behind this eerie and disturbing find. It turns out that the chambers were used by the ancient Maya for human sacrifices centuries ago. The deformed skulls found within the chambers resulted from a specific method of execution, where the top of the victim's or volunteer's cranium was intentionally flattened. This gruesome practice was believed to be a way to honor the gods and ensure a bountiful harvest. While the cenote itself remains a breathtaking natural wonder, the discovery of the underwater cave of skulls has added a sinister element to its allure. Visitors to the area are reminded of the dark history that lurks beneath the surface and the sacrifices made by the ancient Maya to appease their gods. Even though this discovery is quite creepy and unsettling, it serves as a reminder of the incredible stories and mysteries that still lie buried beneath the earth and hidden in the depths of the ocean. So if you're feeling brave enough, take a dive into the depths of the Sakuyum cenote and explore the underwater cave of skulls for yourself. But be warned, this discovery will stay with you long after you return to the surface. Number 2. An underwater river. When you think of a river, you usually imagine a flowing body of water on the land's surface. But what if we told you there's a river under the sea? Yes, you heard that right. In 2016, a group of researchers from Leeds University discovered an undersea river in the Black Sea that is 350 times larger than the River Thames in England. To uncover this mystery, the scientists sent an underwater robot to explore the depths of the Black Sea. What they found was truly remarkable. They saw an undersea river that had carved out its own deep channels like a river on land. It had rapids and waterfalls and could be as deep as 115 feet in some parts. The river had all the characteristics of a regular river but flowed beneath the ocean's surface. It's the first known undersea river of its kind, and if it were on land, it would be the 6th largest river in the world. The question that arises is, how is this even possible? The answer is quite simple. The specific area of the Black Sea where the river was discovered has a much lower salt content. The undersea saline river has a much higher density than the surrounding seawater, allowing for the separation. This creates a distinct flow that has its own characteristics and behaves like a regular river. The undersea river has challenged our understanding of the ocean and raised questions about the possibility of other undersea rivers. The implications of this discovery are massive and could change how we think about the ocean and its ecosystem. It also reminds us how much more we have to learn about our planet and how much more we have to explore. Number 1. Toothbrush inside the human body. As humans, we tend to have a lot of things on our minds at any given moment, and sometimes even the simplest tasks can take a bizarre turn. Take the case of a man in China, for instance. This man found himself in a very unusual predicament after accidentally swallowing his toothbrush while sleepily brushing his teeth one morning. It's the kind of thing that sounds almost too crazy to be true, but the man in question, a resident of Taizhou in China's Jiangsu province, found himself in a panic after losing his grip on the toothbrush handle and accidentally swallowing the 15-centimeter-long brush down his throat. Of course, anyone in that situation might be forgiven for panicking a little, but what sets this story apart is the man's quick thinking in heading straight to the nearest hospital to have the toothbrush removed. Now, we can only imagine the reaction of the doctors at the hospital when the man presented himself with a toothbrush lodged inside his body, but suffice it to say, it must have been a sight to behold. But as bizarre as this story may seem, it's not uncommon for doctors to encounter patients with all sorts of unexpected objects lodged inside their bodies. In fact, emergency rooms around the world have seen everything from light bulbs to kitchen utensils to small toys and even live animals. So, if you ever find yourself sleepily brushing your teeth, take a moment to ensure you're fully alert and focused on the task so you don't end up like this poor man from faraway China. Which of these strange and fascinating discoveries caught your interest the most? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section below.